Brilliant. I think we're started there. Brilliant. So, welcome everyone to the fourth session. These months are going by quickly. It seems, we do one, and then all of a sudden it's the next one. It whizzes by so fast. I hope you're all enjoying it so far. Might have to pause to let people in now and again, but there we go. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'm quite impressed with how many people we've got here today. We've got 31 people on the call, and I was a bit worried that because it's not as fancy a subject as creating floral arches or any of the other big sort of impressive floral things that we've got, that people might not see the value in it. So I'm really pleased. It means a lot to me that you've come along and that you're curious about it and you want to learn about it and the reasons kind of why it's going to be good for your business and how to use it to help get bookings really. Excuse me, I've got a bit of an itchy nose there, I keep doing that. But yeah, just in case anybody's joining us that isn't aware of how Flower Up works or anything like that, so you can join for free. But to do that, you have to do it live. You have to come on the call live. Although I do the recordings. I was just checking it was recording there. I do, if you want to get the recordings or anything like that, you have to buy one of the paid options. So you can either buy the single session, you can get the annual pass and pay in full for it, or you can do the annual pass on a monthly payment plan as well, which works out really affordable. But basically, if you get either of the annual pass options, then you get access to a whole bunch of content as well. There's about 20 hours worth of trainings that you get access to, as well as all the recordings and any notes and stuff like that from these sessions as they go along. So it means you can watch the recordings back of these however often you want to and whenever you want to. So it's all good. And of course, if it goes without saying, if you need any sort of one-to-one help, perhaps there's something you really want to achieve in your business and you're not sure how to get there, or maybe there's something you need like specific help with a certain topic on a one-off basis, then I am available for one-to-one work as well, as I hope you all know by now. So just drop me a DM or pop me an email if you want to arrange anything like that. So let's make a start. So today we're going to be talking about doing a digital mock-up for your wedding clients, and basically and specifically we're going to be doing that on Canva. There are other systems which I'll go into in a bit, but I personally love Canva. It's a great all-round sort of visual system, and a lot of people have got it. And so what we're teaching today is, I'm not trying to get you to sign up to a new system or anything like that, because a lot of you have probably already got it, even if you're not quite sure how to use it or anything like that. There is a Canva Basics training in with the annual pass membership content as well, which might be useful to some of you as well. But you might be thinking, why do I need to do that? I've managed all these years fine without doing anything like that, Vicky. Why are you trying to teach me these new fancy ways and new fancy systems to do all this sort of thing? Well, I just think, times have changed, and it's becoming, I don't know about you, how you feel, but it's becoming harder to get people across the line, and harder to get them to book. You seem to have to jump through a few more hoops to kind of get people booked into your diary. And I think, just letting some people in. Yeah, so times have changed. It is becoming harder, and I feel like there's this kind of increasing need for people to have some sort of visual to kind of almost show where their money is going. I found, I've been a user of Canva for years, but I found that after COVID and Brexit and all these things that we've been going through as a society for the past few years, it's, we've come out the other side of it, and people have changed. The world has changed. Society is changing the way we sort of view things and experience things and value things. And that goes for our wedding clients as well. These things happen in life, so we just have to kind of roll with it and pivot and work on it and do our best to sort of to change that and change the way we work so that we can continue to function as a business. But yeah, I found that a few months ago, I sat and I looked at my own business and I thought, you know, there seems to be this problem, like less people were getting kind of going across that line, if you like, and we'd have a consultation and then they'd either not get back to me or they'd get back to me and say, I'm really sorry, we've booked with someone else. I mean, that's always going to happen, but I was finding that was happening more so. And I was feeling like, gosh, that consultation went really well. So why could that be? And I sort of came to the conclusion that people need some sort of or like maybe a visual or something to help them see where their money is going. It's not that they don't have money to spend, although people are more price conscious nowadays. But it's just they almost need to like see where their money is going or something that. I mean, we do live in this internet society nowadays. If people want to buy a pair of jeans or something like that, they can go on Google and just see all the choices for all the jeans and then just click on the one they want to buy and it's done. So I think that is part of it, but I feel like it's more of it's more of a societal thing. People are more conscious about where their money is going, and you've got to remember that we serve people who are often not always of a different generation, but quite often people who are getting married are sort of that they're certainly younger than I am. Although you do get older people getting married, but the majority of them are, of marrying age, if there is such a thing. So they are of a different generation where they value things differently. And I think doing some sort of like a digital mock-up for them or giving them some sort of visual throughout the consultation process or even afterwards, it helps add to the experience as well. And I think that's what people value. It's not just like prove to me where my money is going. It's like it's a nice experience. It gets people excited. It helps them envision their big day. So you've got to put yourself in their shoes and what they're looking at and what their values are and what they want. And that could take the form of good old-fashioned drawings if you want, or it could be Pinterest, or there's all sorts of things that I mean, in terms of what we're talking about today, it's a digital mock-up. I'm doing it on Canva, but there is a system called Procreate as well. I don't know if any of you use that. I've not used it, but I have seen a lot of other florists use it. But that would be a sort of subscription thing. But Canva is what I mainly use. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to show you how I do it and that sort of thing. Does anybody use Procreate, or does anybody give some sort of visual, like in terms of drawings or Procreate or anything like that? Just looking through the comments of previous questions, there's a lot of people that seem to use Canva, and there's a thumbs up there. There's a lot of people sort of use Canva, but they're not quite sure how to use it, or it takes a long time. Yeah, so I think it is helpful to do to have that sort of visual process, and not just in terms of getting it across to people, like proving where their money is going, sort of thing, but it helps them understand that you have in your mind what they've got in theirs. Does that make sense? So people are going to book you because they feel confident in you, and they should hopefully walk away from consultations thinking, oh yeah, that Vicky, she has got in her head my vision completely, or that Paula, yes, she absolutely totally gets us. It's just that's hopefully the impression you should give, so they go away and they can't wait to book you. So when should you? I promise I will share my screen in a minute. We'll actually go through some Canva stuff. In terms of when you should do this, personally, what I do, I'm a big believer in not doing too much work before the booking stage. So quite often I try to use images, perhaps Googled images or Pinterest images or something, some sort of imagery to show them during the consultation process. In fact, it's part of my workflow to get them to send me their Pinterest boards or any inspiration images and things beforehand, before they actually get to the consultation stage. So that we can talk through it, but also that I can get my head around it before the meeting so that I can suggest the right things, and hopefully the meeting should go a little bit better then. So, you know, they often send me like links to Pinterest boards, for example. So I do all of my initial calls on Zoom. So I'll usually share the screen, we'll go through that Pinterest board together, talk through what's important to them about the images. Maybe they'll point to one of the bouquets on there and tell you that's their favourite, or they love the shape of this, or the style of that, or the colour of such and such. So just talk through it, get them excited about it, really get into their minds and try and understand what is in their heads visually. You know, what is their vision, what's important to them. I tend to only do the Canva mock-ups afterwards. Now people do this differently, you know, some people do it as part of their process, but I hated, spent years putting lots of effort into consultations and bookings. You know, I'd go meet people at cafes, pay for the coffees, go away, do like maybe a digital mock-up, or spend loads of like hours getting a quote together for them, blah, blah, blah. And then for them to not book, just, it felt like a real kick. So I was like, how can I change my process so that it works for both of us, basically? I'm a big believer in not doing too much work beforehand. So I basically use this sort of digital mock-up as a, most of the time anyway, as like an incentive for them to book. So basically my quotes are valid for 2 weeks. And if they book within the first 24 hours of me sending the quote, then they get a free digital mock-up. So that's how I do mine. I sort of use it as an incentive to book, rather than showing them everything and then them not booking or taking those ideas and going elsewhere, kind of thing. So I can do it, you know, further down the line if people want, or if they wanted to do it before booking, they're welcome to pay for it. I charge £50 if somebody wanted to actually pay for one, which accounts for my time in doing it. And basically I do like a little mood board with some suggested flower types on there and colours and the vibe and things like that. And then I maybe do, I'll do a mock-up in terms of, you know, maybe there's a particular area of their ceremony that they're having trouble envisioning, or they're not sure whether to go for this option or that option as a ceremony backdrop. Or I had a client the other week who, you know, they booked me and went ahead and everything, and I sent them the mock-up to show them what the more expensive version of it was floral columns, basically. They wanted some decoration at the front of these ascending stairs. All stairs are ascending. I don't know why I said that. So she was like unsure whether to go for this larger option or the smaller option. So I kind of used that mock-up situation to show her, like, look, this is what the kind of roughly the difference would be. This is your 450 quid option, and this is your 250 quid option. So that she can see. The wedding's not till next year, so I'll let you know how that goes and see if she went for the bigger option. But I think quite often they can sort of see, you know, if they can see what is involved in that, you know, like that's the 500 quid option or whatever it is, they're like, actually, yeah, that's what I want. It's not this other thing that I want. They might be hoping that 250 quid will do the job. Actually, no, it's this £500 option, or whatever it might be. I'm just throwing numbers out there now, but it helps them envision it. But I only do it kind of afterwards, because that's a lot of effort to go through for somebody that may or may not book at the end. I'm just going to take a sip, by the way. Who else has got their cups of tea and the drinks at the ready, by the way? Good on you, Sarah. Right, excellent. So let's share the screen. We can. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of it there. So hopefully you guys can see that there. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Excellent. Good. So you will, hang on, I'm just going to move our faces out of the way here. So you will, if you haven't logged into Canva before, this is what you'll see. I'll assume you'll all know a little bit of the basics, but this is what you'll see. So you want to create a design. Essentially, it doesn't really matter what format you create. But you could do like a Facebook post landscape, whatever it is, or an A4 poster, for example. So I often use the A4 poster version purely because if you ever wanted to like print it off for your files, or you want to send it to them as a PDF or something, there's no resizing to be done or anything like that. Excuse me. So that, by the way, this is useful, and I just I forgot to mention that before. Just letting someone in. To print off for their files afterwards. I find, you book someone a year ago and you can't really remember kind of the vibe quite well, and you have to sort of revisit it when it comes time to have final consultations and actually making the things. So if you're doing this for someone, it really helps to sort of print that off and put it in your file. It's something you'll be doing anyway, so why not print it off, put it in the file. Or you could also have a if you've got like if they've sent you like half a dozen inspiration images, you can upload those here as well and print that off, put that in the file, so you're not thinking when it comes time to making them, oh, hang on, I should really, I'll try and find that thing she sent on Instagram like 12 months ago. And, it's helpful to have it all in the same place. I use a system called 17 Hats as well for like booking and onboarding clients and diaries and all that sort of thing. So I find it helpful if I've made a document like that to upload that into that system as well, just so everything's kind of together and you're not looking here, there and everywhere. So with my pen then. So let's say, oh, hang on, I'll just let people in. There's still people coming in. This is great. Excellent. 37 people on this call. This is amazing. So who'd have thought Canva was so popular? Hey? So for those of you who've just joined, we're sort of 20 minutes into it now, so it might be that you get the recording. I'll pop the link in the group afterwards for those who want to buy the recordings or get the annual pass or anything. But I have talked through why we're doing this and how it's useful and what to do with them and all that sort of thing. It might be that you already have, let's say, a picture of the venue or whatever it is that you want to create a mock-up for. I find these particularly useful for venues, by the way, rather than just bouquets, because people have booked the venue for a reason because they love the venue, but they're unsure on how florals kind of, are part of that and what they'll look like when they're in there. So that's what we're going to do right now is do something along the lines of that and show you how to create like a mock-up of something at the venue, say for a ceremony or something like that. So I would upload a picture, so whether that be one you've taken yourself or just one that you've Googled or one that the customer has sent you, whatever it is, you would upload it here. I'm going to use this one because I uploaded it yesterday. So let's have a little look there. So you could have yours in a sort of landscape format or whatever it is. So it's entirely up to you. But you do need your thing as a backdrop there. Your picture of your venue as a backdrop. So as you can see, this is just a fairly kind of blank picture of this particular venue. It's one that I found on Google. although obviously we do have to be careful of that. It's best to use ones from like the actual venue's website or something like that. Even better if you've got a picture of the venue of your own. But this is, you're not selling this on or anything like that. It's mainly for sort of visual purposes. So yesterday, for example, a couple were sort of trying to imagine what this would look like. They were unsure. They had a fairly healthy budget, but they were thinking, what should we have along this aisle? You know, what should we have the floral arch that we were thinking of, etc., etc. So we basically just did a bit of a mock-up for them. You might be thinking, Vicky, how on earth do you get pictures of flowers onto here? That's what we're going to do now. So there's a couple of different ways of doing it. Let's say they wanted bud vases along the aisle. This is one of my uploads here. Hopefully you can see my cursor wiggling around there. I did this yesterday, so I can actually use a picture that you already have, something you've already made, and just simply remove the background and pop it on there. I'll show you the other options in a bit, but I'm going to show you how to use this because one of the options for yesterday's couple was that they were thinking of having bud vases and stuff for the tables. So I was going to suggest maybe have them along the aisle first. So we're just going to, I literally just clicked on there to add it, and to remove the background, no, edit, sorry. To remove the background, you click on edit and just click background remover. I think that's only available on Pro, but you see there, so ta-da. So I'm just going to make that super small and pop that along the aisle there. Obviously it's not like exact scale or anything, but it just gives people a bit of a visual. Get it as close as you can. And the great thing is you can just copy. I mean, I'd use the keyboard shortcut for that there, but you can click copy, and then you can just paste a few of them and move them along the aisle there. So that gives you, that instantly shows the couple. I probably have to make that a little bit smaller at the other end because that's further away, but that instantly shows the couple like, look, that's what bud vases are going to get you. So if you're thinking, let's not invest in anything along the aisle, save a bit of money and just use our table flowers along the aisle, that's what's going to get you. It may be that that's enough for them. It may be that they think, oh my goodness, I need much more than that, but it helps them envision it. So that's one way. So using a photo that you've already got and simply removing the background. Or Canva has, there we are, photographs of their own. So let's say, I'm just going to type vase of flowers. We'll just use that because that's nice and simple there. So you'd simply choose, in fact, let's like that. Yeah, this one's going to be easy for removing the background, but so you simply just choose one of their images there. Or you could be more specific for sort of red flowers, for example. It'll not always come up with what you need, but if there's something there that you can use, brilliant. So again, with this image that we've put on here, it's simply, again, a case of going to edit and then removing the background. And same process. I mean, I use the keyboard shortcuts, but you know, you could put copy and then paste like that. You know, you don't, I'm always using keyboard shortcuts, but you obviously can't see that on here. So so you could just go along the aisle and show them what a slightly larger vase of flowers would look like along the aisle. So your own photos, stock photos from Canva, or another thing I do is I've built up this little um, bank of things here with already removed backgrounds. So I've got these elements here, which is just like different flower types. I've got a couple of things like, you know, log slices, things like that there, which have already got the backgrounds removed. So, you know, you can sort of, you can build up something like that for the clients, you know, maybe there we go. And you could build up something like that for the client to kind of show them, look, if you wanted this selection of like logs, stumps and stuff, this is what it's going to look like, you know, so kind of build it up for them and help them envision it. Sometimes if you haven't got a picture of a venue, you know, maybe it's because sometimes obviously you have to be careful of photographers' permission and things like that. I often I just downloaded from the Canva thing a picture of just a normal table, a normal dining table, so that can be used, and I can put, you know, flowers or candles or whatever it is you want to put on there to help them envision it. So I've built up this bank of things that are already there, which really kind of speeds up the job. So let's say if somebody wanted to, I don't know, have peach carnations. They wanted peaches and blues. So I found some blue flowers and I'm going to add some peach flowers to it. You know, that's that sort of thing. Obviously, you would add a bit more than that. I'm just being quicker, but that gives you the sort of idea. It helps them envision it, so you can add various colours, various flowers. You know, maybe you want some toffee roses in there. It's an awful combination, but you know, it's just giving you a bit of an idea, so you can sort of build it up. It doesn't have to look exact, you know, maybe they want some white stocks in there or something, you know, so you can sort of give people the vibe. I hope all that's making sense, but I've found it really useful for you know, to create items with backgrounds already removed, and kind of, you know, so I'm using them often, so it makes sense for me to have like pictures already there, so I can just do a few clicks and make up things that I want. I've done one there with aisle petals, for example, like that. So it's just a case of you know, you can maybe do a few of those if you want a thicker sort of bed of petals, you know. So something like that can be used to make it very quick. So maybe they're thinking, should I have something along the aisle, or should I just have something like little, you know, a few petals, something like that? I can't quite envision it. Does it need it? Within a few clicks, you've sort of shown them, there you go, it's done. This is something you could possibly do on a call, just a very quick sort of, you know, just a very quick sort of, oh, here's what some petals might look like at your venue. I would only stick to your allotted time for the consultation, though, and not go too far in booking things. And I certainly don't send this to people afterwards, you know, before they've booked, basically. It's purely to help them envision what we're talking about, basically. So I'm just going to do that. You can use that to create something bigger. So let's say you know, that there, for example, say they wanted something along that stage there. Make that a bit bigger. You know, straight away, there's something there, like brilliant here. So that's simply a case of getting a picture and removing the background. And it's, you know, you can save it to your own folder. I've called mine elements and stuff, but you know, you can call yours whatever you want, and saving it there so that you can use it again and again in the future. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. You know, if you have created it as design and it's quite popular, and people are always asking for it, it makes sense to have a copy of it in here, and then you could just bring that out again and again. What does that centerpiece look like in that particular person's venue? You can show them. Something like this as well, we could sort of, we could turn it around. We can make a couple of floral columns there if we wanted. Nice couple of floral columns just to help people envision what that might look like at their venue. Let's put some hot pink roses in that just to show them what it looks like with the pops of colour in. You know, you could keep going. And so on and so on. You know, just to kind of really help them, because they might be thinking, you know, it's a lot of money just to spend on something, a floral arch, isn't it? So yeah, they don't know how big these things are, what sort of difference it makes, what sort of effect it has at the venue. So you can actually sort of do something quick like that and show them what it might potentially look like. Yeah, you could sort of, well, I'm not sure what else we could add, you know, but you get the idea. And you can adjust these and make them smaller, bigger, twirl them around so that they're facing the right way. And do all sorts. And I think, you know, you'll find that you are much more able to sell something like that if people can look at that and go, wow, yeah, what a difference that makes. You need to help them sort of visualize what that would look like at the venue so that they can think, oh, look, I couldn't get married there and not have something behind me. So sell it to them, sell them the dream, basically. That's what all this is about. It could be as well that, you know, maybe you need to you can sort of alter the positioning of them as well. So say if you wanted to, if you're doing a tablescape or something and you've put something there and it needs to, I'm going to make that ridiculously big just to show you, but you need to put something behind something else so it's not blocking the way. So you just click on the item you want and then position, and you can move it forwards or backwards. You know, you can see it disappearing behind that there. So is that all making sense so far, you guys? Like, do you have any questions, anything you might particularly want me to run through? I use a similar kind of, it's all the same sort of techniques really for like a mood board as well. So I use some of the pictures that they create. Hang on, let's see if I can find. Do I have one in templates or? I don't think I have any in the no. So you know, I use something similar. I have like a template where I sort of create something like a heading Sarah and Sue. There you go. You also the first two names that came up on my screen. So you're getting married. There you go. So it puts something like their names and you know, maybe the wedding date. You know, something like that. Obviously, you'd make this look really nice and decorative, but I use this as a sort of like a mood board rather than a digital mock-up, if that makes sense. So, you know, you can add any of your, let's say there's a picture of a centerpiece that they sent. You can add that on there. You could add, maybe they're wanting to use certain colours of flowers. Now, I never promise exact flower types, but I do sort of use this as a tool to sort of help them envision. And this is where maybe you might want to put certain things behind other things. There we go. You can just maybe some nice olive leaves, or you know, just build up a kind of some pictures for inspiration. I have had people come back and say, you know, oh, I don't really like those orange flowers you put on there or whatever. But it's I have to remind them when I send them as well, like, look, this isn't a promise of exact flower types. This is just basically your something to give you a bit of a visual to help you envision those colours together and that sort of thing. But it does help me when it comes to the time, because I can sort of say, oh yeah, you know, they've got great feedback off that. Or sometimes they've said, oh, I don't like those orange ones. So I say, look, we can remove those. We can make sure we don't use those. No problem at all. But I certainly wouldn't do like multiple mock-ups for them going backwards and forwards, because this is never a promise of exact, you know, exactly what you're going to provide. And I think you have to make that very clear to people when you're sending them these things. Yeah, so you would sort of, you could just keep going. Do a bit of a mock-up. You could even do some sort of, I wonder if it's in Elements. You could maybe do some sort of like a background on there, but move it right to the back. You know, so it looks a bit more decorative than just a plain white background. Or, you know, do whatever you like, really. But it's I just really find things like this help people envision it. So I'm just reading through some of the comments here. Yes, Liana, the background remover is only available on the pro version of Canva. Becky, yes, I use the paid version of Canva. Lindsay, are these flower pictures, etc., already on Pro, or have you taken them and added them? A mix of both, Lindsay. So there's certain things that are in Pro. A lot of the things that I've put in my own sort of bank of content here, they are from here. So I've simply, let's say if we can go, where is it? Photos. So red rose, for example. So you can use something like that, and do a picture, remove the background, and then save it to your own kind of folder, if that makes sense. So you're building up your own bank of content. But sometimes it's a case of, you know, I've taken pictures of my own. Let's have a little look. Do that. It's like an arches and installations one, you know, so something that's one of my designs, for example. So you can put things like that on there. Any more questions about that? Now I will be going live in the exclusive Flower Up Facebook group for those of you who have the annual pass on either of the options, whether it be the monthly payment plan or the pay in full. You all get that. Yes, Joe, I think I covered that earlier. Do be careful using pictures off the internet. Obviously, you have to try and make sure. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, absolutely agree. I sort of touched on that earlier. Some are classed as intellectual property. Yes, absolutely. So it's always better if you can get your own pictures or use ones, like I showed you earlier with the table, for example, which is literally just from here. Yeah, so something like you can do a blank table and just build little images around that. You could show, where's that position? I'll bring it forward. So you don't have to actually sort of do it at the venue or anything like that, but you could just do a little mock-up of a table with a few bud vases on it like that, to kind of show people what you're trying to get across, to help them envision things. So yes, any more questions on that? So I'm going live, as soon as we finish this, I'm going live in the exclusive Facebook group for the Flower Up members. If anybody has that, do kind of come on. And I'll basically answer extra questions, give extra tips, things like that, if anybody needs them. So hopefully you've all enjoyed that today. I think it's a really useful one to have. Like I say, it's not as sexy a subject as how to build a floral arch, but I think it's just as important, because you could learn how to make all the floral arches in the world, but if you can't sell it to people, it makes not one jot of a difference. So hang on, I'm going to come back there. Oh, hang on. Oh, I've clicked the share button again. There we go. So as you can see, just with that particular one, that's helped people. That could help a client decide whether to go for that or not, or which option to go with along the aisle. And I think it just makes you seem really helpful, doesn't it? People are going to remember you because you've been helpful, or if you're doing this sort of thing like I do after they book, then you can they're excited to see the thing that you're going to create for them. And for some people, they've actually booked me because I offer that service after you book. So as an incentive for booking quickly, they get this for anyone who missed that earlier. So if they book within the first 24 hours, and I get my quotes out fairly quickly, usually within the hour, if not a lot sooner. So if they book within the first 24 hours, they get one of these for free should they want it. And people have gone, yes, I need, people who want visual people who can't envision what something will look like at a venue, or what colours that they'd like, or that something like that can make the difference between someone booking you or not. And that has made people book me before. They've gone, right, okay, I really liked Vicky, and she's going to show us like what it's going to look like and help us to make our choices. So they've booked me on that basis. My throat's getting really dry now. This is like my third hour of being online and talking. So I've had a couple of calls before this, so getting all dry now. So yeah, so hopefully that helps. I'm going to come back to you guys there. Oh, we've got new messages. Brilliant, Leanna. I'm glad you found it helpful. Sarah Jane, been absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Feel much more confident watching you. Can you confirm that you started with an A4 poster? Yes, I did start with an A4 poster. You can make it your, portrait, landscape, whatever you want to use. You can adjust the sort of measurements. You can choose the one that you like the most. Brilliant, Becky. I'm glad you found that really useful. So many ideas. Martina says, Vicky, you found this really useful. You have incentivized me to have a play later. It's a really great selling tool, as most people cannot visualize. Exactly, Martina. Oh, brilliant. You're all saying it's really helpful. If you found it really helpful, you guys, I would really appreciate, especially if you join in just for free, it would really help me if you pop something on the Facebook group, on the Worldwide Wedding Florist Facebook group, just to sort of say what you found about today's session, if you found something particularly useful or you really enjoyed it, basically all the stuff that you're saying on these comments. I would absolutely love to hear it. And if you just intend to join for free, it's a great way to sort of you know, I suppose pitch in and pay it forward, I suppose. And if you're saying to people, hey, I found this really useful, because there will be people out there who maybe can't like don't want to, they're not sure whether they want to buy any of the services or not, or so it just helps me sort of show how useful this is for people and how enjoyable it is, and that people can actually gain something from it. Because I can bleat on about how great my stuff is all the time, and it wouldn't make any difference. What really makes a difference is feedback like that. So if any of you can pop a message on the group after this, that would be most appreciated. So yeah, we'll leave it there. I shall stop the recording now. And for anyone who is, you know, if you feel like you need any further one-to-one help, do pop in and let me know. Hang on, where is the recording button? There it is. Yeah, so do just drop me a message and let me know, and we can arrange some sort of one-to-one session with you. So I'm just going to stop the recording.